It's now back to Lagos and time for us to see what's trending with the Trending Now segment. Olamide Odekunle is here. Olamide, good to see you.
Like the first day of the year. Good morning, team. I'm sorry to interrupt your boys' club, but I have to tell you the things that are trending. Shall I take it away?
Absolutely, take it away.
Good morning, Nigeria. I like to say that TVC has a finger on the pulse and an eye on the streets. And here on the Trending Now segment, we do our best to bring you trending stories that are shaping the world that you and I live in. We begin today with this, where Nigeria's record-breaking spirit is alive and thriving. And this October, all eyes will be on 2 more bold Guinness World Record attempts. Now, former BB Niger star Thatcher is gearing up for her 3-day beauty festival from the 10th of October to the 12th, where she will attempt to complete 150 makeovers in 24 hours on day 2 of this said event. Now, if she's successful, she'll surpass Sierra Leone's Mary Yongai, who set the current record of 111 makeovers in April this year. Meanwhile, in Akwa Ibom State, Chef Eno James is preparing to also etch her name in the record books with a massive culinary feat, cooking the biggest pot of Afia Efere Ebot, white soup, and usung ikbong. I hope I got that right. Now for her, she said it's more than just food. It's about preserving her culture, promoting her local cuisine, and celebrating Nigeria's rich culinary heritage on a global stage. 2 different records, 2 different industries we are watching. At this point, it should be called the Guinness World of Nigeria. Let's take a look at social media. Mercy says, Guinness World Records will soon rename to Lagos Records because now here every hustle they turn to marathon. Next one will be longest side eye in traffic. We'll take 2 more. Truth Be Told says, this Chef Eno James nonsense again. After Hilda Baci sweat, now everyone wants a piece of the Guinness pie. Cooking the biggest pot of what? Afia Efere, spare us. It's just copycat vibes for clout, not talent. Truth be told. And finally, Zeke says, nothing we no go cook for the country this year. Make una continue with this hand until December, oh, I beg. Hunger in the country. Team, very quickly, we've discussed this several times. You know, earlier this week, last week, sorry, Hilda Baci cemented her Guinness World Record. Earlier this week, they commended her for that, and they recognized that she had broken the record. I want us to intellectualize this Guinness World Record. You know, I think it's a form of soft power. It's social and cultural capital. It puts things on the global stage. But what are there any larger implications?
Yes, the larger implication is that your brand is known. Even if it is for a week or 2, your brand is spoken about for all over the country and maybe all over the world, and that is a huge push to your brand. And I'm thinking maybe Ibrahim, we should also break the world record, you know, run as an anchor for like 3 days.
No, that's big. It's easier for us to do. Yeah. Let's make sure you keep food aside. Beautiful thing that people are doing in the country, you know, everyone is coming up with their own talents, showing that, yes, I can do this for certain, not the fact that you can do it, but also based on the fact that you can do it for a longer amount of time, because I think with Guinness World Record, it has to do with the duration of how long you're doing what you love to do. But, you know, the craze of, I want to also break the record, I want to shatter the record, it's okay, but I think, I don't know what to say, but let's just see how it pans out. But I'll continue to cheer people who want to do it. And
sorry, before you come, sir, Olamide, it's Afia Efere Ebot.
Afia Efere Ebot.
Yes, white soup with goat meat. That's all.
I'm salivating.
I'll keep that in mind, Buck.
Yeah, what you see is with the way we are breaking new grounds, you know, our creativity, our youth talents, and all coming up, dominating the scene, you know, even to the point of Guinness Book of Records. It reminds me of Walter Rodney's How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. Yeah. Today, we can now write a new script and say how Nigeria is developing Africa.
Yes. Absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely. We'll be watching and see how that goes. Moving on into more somber news, a harrowing video from Lagos Island has left a lot of Nigerians on social media stunned. In this video, Shamsuddin Oladiti, better known as Shamelon, a chieftain of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, is seen beating and viciously assaulting a dispatch rider identified only as Ramon. Now, the rider collapses mid-beating in this video, and despite the crowd that has gathered, no one actually stepped forward to stop this attack. And by the next day, the footage had flooded social media timelines, with Nigerians demanding answers and tagging police spokespeople. alongside Lagos officials. Now, the pressure is, of course, mounting for authorities to act swiftly. This is assault in broad daylight, and the silence of bystanders and the brazenness of this assault have raised a lot of uncomfortable questions. If somebody can allegedly be beaten to death because he apparently passed away in plain sight, what hope is there for justice on the average Nigerian streets? Meanwhile, the head of the Lagos State branch of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, MC Oluomo, is currently abroad celebrating his daughter's graduation from the U.S. Army Academy, and Nigerians are waiting for him and calling on him to respond to this incident. But this morning there was an update. The Lagos State Lagos State Police Command spokesperson has come out to say that he has been arrested and they are taking up the case and they're investigating it. Let's take a look at social media. Marvelous Israel says, this is heartbreaking and utterly shameful for an NURTW chieftain to brutally beat a fellow Nigerian, an ordinary dispatch rider hustling to survive, until he allegedly lost his life is the height of cruelty. This culture of impunity, where thuggery is glorified and power is used to oppress the powerless, is a deep stain on our society. Lagos cannot continue to be a place where the strong prey on the weak without consequence. Justice must not only be done, it must be seen to be done. And Steve says, what happened to the police just coming to arrest him? Why do we always have to retweet till he's arrested? What is wrong with you people? Team, we've spoken several times about the concept of the hidden economy. A lot of these people, for lack of a better term, area boys, but this is not an area boy, this is a chieftain of a union. How, you know, a lot of times we've spoken about how these unions, their power needs to be curtailed because things like this happen. This is a blatant abuse of power. This boy has now lost his life.
Well, Shamsuddin has been arrested. We thank God for that, you know, even though it was through social media that the police got to know about it. And I wouldn't blame the police a whole lot, because if there was no policeman there when it was happening, you wouldn't expect the police to do anything except they have information. And that the people around saw this chieftain beating this guy and couldn't intervene shows you that they didn't want to be the second guy being beaten, you know, and he must have that kind of aura around him, that kind of fear around him. It is something that should be discouraged and completely talked against. How dare you?
Very condemnable and shameful acts coming from Shemalon. No. So just let me put it that way. Because why would you raise your hand on another person who is a man like you, even if it's a kid? You do not assault someone on the road, in corner, in private, or anything. If there is a problem, we should always learn not to take laws into our own hands. Who gave you the audacity to be beating people up on the road? Who gave you that, that position to be doing all of that, as if it's a lawless country, as some people will always claim Nigeria has? And this is not even a Nigerian thing. There was a video I saw of a guy who attacked a Ukrainian lady, an American. They said he's suffering from schizophrenia, and then he shook, what's it called? Used the knife on the lady by, shaking her on the jugular, and the lady died. And people were sidestepping the blood that dropped or dripped from the knife, or right there in the tray. So we need to learn to be our brother's keepers. If anyone is doing anything wrong, let's condemn it. No, let's condemn it immediately, not by looking elsewhere as if nothing is happening.
Absolutely.
No, for me, it's quite very strange that people could be around when someone else is being lynched and nobody bothered to either call the police or try to intervene, to stop the killing. For me, that's totally unacceptable. You ask yourself, wherein lies our conscience as human beings? What about our collective humanity? What is it all about if we allow that to happen? Now, but there's a bigger issue. It's not the issue of National Union of Road Transport Workers, clearly. It's about where you have a bad Nigerian, you have a bad Nigerian. Whether it's a member of NURTW or it's in academics or it's in anywhere. Certainly, this guy, Shemalon, thinks he can act with impunity. And of course, the law has now catch up with him. I hope he will be processed through the criminal justice system so that at the end of the day, justice will be served in this matter. It's good the Nigerian police, they are really on top of it. But we need to begin to examine the mental health of our fellow Nigerians. It seems we have a major issue. Why would anybody think having a disagreement with a bicycle rider or Okada rider should lead to his death? So for me, I think there's a major issue about mental health which we are not addressing.
Absolutely, and Mr. Showumi, just speaking to what you said in terms of the bystanders, silence and inaction can sometimes be seen as complicity, but thank you so much for your input. In the world of entertainment news, actress Nkechi Blessing Sunday is making headlines, this time not for any of her acting or movie roles, but for a leaked gym photo that set off a wave of online dialogue. Now, Nkechi had posted a flattering snap of her fitness session on her social media, but another gym goer in the same gym shared a candid shot of her mid-workout, which was unfiltered and unposed compared to the one that she had posted. Now, that image went viral, as you can see, and it sparked a flurry of body shaming comments about her unedited figure. But the actress isn't backing down. She took to Instagram stories where she reminded her critics that she goes to the gym to stay fit and healthy, not to stage a fashion parade. Now, in her own words, her body isn't up for public debate and she will continue to rock her big tummy with pride. Go girl. Her clapback has now flipped the conversation from mockery to a broader discussion about body shaming and the pressure that we put on our celebrities to look picture perfect at all times. Once again, the politics of the female body. Let's take a look at social media. Not Yours, Abeg says, high time they stop letting people record in the gym. If you want to be a fitness influencer, invest in a home gym. Team, this is very interesting. This woman's body has now been politicized, dialogued upon, debated upon. But I want to focus on this, this image of a curated reality on social media. Sometimes our realities on social media and in real life are often so far removed. I will never condone body shaming. On the other hand, I will say that, we set up these perfectly curated images, and it's hard to aspire to that even as a young woman myself.
That reminds me of one photograph I saw on social media where this young man took himself a selfie and wrote under "Home Sweet Home." But what he forgot is that toilet was written. There. That just goes to show you that social media life is different from real life. And for Nkechi, she is very correct. Her body is her body. It's nobody's
Absolutely.
business how she looks. If she has a big tummy, so be it. I have a big tummy too. Let everybody, let's start looking at things that matter and not all this thing. However, if you're in entertainment, you expect things like this.
Well, approaching this matter is kind of dicey for me. Celebrities, they're always constantly under pressure to tell their fans, this is how I look, this is where I want to look, and all of that. And who decides who is big, who is small, or who has a big tummy, who maybe the person is not fine? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Simple.
But one thing is, should we always put everything about our lives on the social media? I understand the craze for, constantly updating, creating content and all of that. But should we always put everything on the social media? The way you look, people will always talk. So if you do not want people to talk, why don't you just keep some of these things away if you know that they're affecting your mental health or your sanity?
Yeah, well, if you actually look at it, this is a work of a paparazzi photographer. Because the lady did not just invite anybody to take her pictures. Yeah. And of course, she has a right to her privacy, even whether she's inside the gym or not. We need to begin to look at these issues. And I'm sure if she can choose to sue either the medium or the photographer or the media, on this, she probably will get away with it and get some damages. It's totally an intrusion into her privacy.
Private life, yes.
Absolutely, very interesting, Tim. And I just want to say, I think she's absolutely beautiful. And it was very sad to see the social media commentary was coming from women shaming how we need to do better as a sex.
Women supporting women.
Or just truth supporting truth. Team,